Coming to you live from the KDWN studios on South Durango, it's Live Las Vegas, hosted by the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney, and R&B recording artist Al B. Shore. Want to talk to Dave and Al? Call in at 257-5396. That's 257-5396. It's live, it's local, it's Las Vegas. Here are your hosts, Dave and Al.
All right, welcome to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by multi-platinum recording artist Al B. Shore, who's just getting his headphones on right now. And, of course, we've got Michael Mack in studio. Big Bub back with us. What's
up,
going on,
baby?
buddy?
I'm here, baby.
Wow, I tell you, it's great to see you. Great to
Thank
see
you.
Al. Great to have Michael back in studio. And, again, we do have a really big show today. The phone number to reach us here in studio, 257-5396. That's 257-KDWN. Al, you're all mic'd up here. You got your headphones on. How you feeling today, buddy?
Absolutely amazing.
You look awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Looking awesome. You're trying to turn back the clock here, aren't you? I saw your Facebook picture of the American Music Awards where you won Best New Artist. You had this picture up there, and I thought, you know, this is a little disturbing for a guy like me. You might look better now, Al, than you did when you were 20-some years old. Now, why are you doing this?
Wow. You know what? Of course, Thursdays are what we call Throwback Thursdays. So
Yes,
you
it is.
find some vintage shots or some image of you way back in the day. You know, the only difference, I would say, is a few pounds here and there. But
Listen, you're bringing sexy all the way back. And again, Throwback Thursday is awesome. We just got a chance to chat offline here with Lynn Briggs, who's on 105.7.
Love
Of course,
Lynn Briggs.
she does a great Throwback
Radio
Thursday.
legend, Lynn Briggs.
Absolutely, radio legend. She's been a part of the Las Vegas community for such a long time. And guys, today we are going to invite, again, the Las Vegas community to get on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline with us here on Live Las Vegas, opening up the phone lines for you guys at 257-5396. That's 257-KDWN. And, you know, today we have got a lot of interesting news topics to cover, fellas. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and not just domestically, but worldwide. Now, I would have loved to lead off here. We're going to have a new piece of imaging. We've got some new stuff adding to the show here. But for the sake of time and for getting in the phone calls, again, the number 257-5396, I want to start off at the top here. Vladimir Putin making all sorts of headlines with his invasion of a neighboring country over there. Now, Hillary Clinton, our former Secretary of State and proposed next president, has come out with some very strong words for the Russian leader. Have you fellas heard exactly what Hillary Clinton's had to say?
she said, not now, but right now. Back up.
She did, and she compared Vladimir Putin's current stance, I guess we should say, over in Kiev with that of Adolf Hitler back in 1933, 1934. And when you hear this kind of talk, guys, you know, from the former Secretary of State, from somebody that could be running for president, what does that make you feel from somebody like Hillary?
Well, you know, I think it's a good position for Hillary Clinton. Obviously, she's probably someone who is, I would say, most qualified to actually run for the presidency. You know, obviously, she's been within the administration in several capacities, including the First Lady, seeing things firsthand. So experience speaks for everything. So to show that she has some kahunas, and she's not going to just lay down and, click her heels. She's putting her Timberlands on and stomping forward.
So basically what I'm getting is kind of the thought that I had, and I was sharing with Michael Mack here off air before the program, is that Hillary, posturing for her run of 2016 here, obviously Barack Obama's going to be done, and she would be the next in line on the Democratic side, obviously, is trying to show a measure of strength then to the rest of the world in Vladimir Putin. And what I think is interesting, though, guys, and I've got a little list that we'll go over later. We use the word sovereign country, invading a sovereign country, Vladimir Putin invading a sovereign country. There's quite a handful of sovereign countries that the United States of America has invaded throughout the history. And I want to talk about how that affects where we are in history. But again, the phone lines are absolutely open, 257-5396. Now, all of the callers that join us today on our Subway Fresh Take Hotline are going to receive a free gift. We've got the Max Pawn Treasure Chest open down there at 6040 West Sahara Avenue. So everybody that calls us today and shares an opinion at 257-KDWN is going to get an absolutely free gift.
Also, if you're somewhere in your car and you have a friend and you want them to join in, just go to maxpawnlv.com and you can click listen live so no one
gets left out.
Gets left. That's like what Ohana means family.
That's
means
right.
No one gets left behind.
That's right. Ohana. Well, you bring up Ohana, and there was a little piece of, history that I had done looking into this, case here with Putin, and we did something very similar to what's going on right now back in 1893, and that was the occupation of Hawaii. And there was a small group of American businessmen.
Yeah, there was some other stuff going on in 1893, too.
Absolutely. Yes, there was. But there has been...
That wasn't too sexy, though.
No, there wasn't. To bring in sexy forward now with grass skirts. But there's just been a number of different times that these things have happened. Now, sometimes we agree with them and sometimes we don't. And I'd love to hear what people think about this out in Las Vegas because, again, we hear all we can from the national news media. I'd love to hear what people think about this situation.
The real people.
The real people. Is Hillary Clinton acting in our best interest? Now,
Not the fake, what did they say? What did they say? This exit poll or some sort of poll. I'm like, what poll have you been hanging around? Because I know nothing about it. I wasn't contacted to vote in a poll. The approval margin and like, oh boy.
Yeah, that could have been by design. Actually, that goes back to one of my earlier conquests of America from 1496. They weren't really looking for everybody's opinion, as a matter of fact. Just a very select few people's opinions. And one of the things too that we want to bring up on this program, especially because this is focused on Las Vegas, but we take a look at the world. We know that Las Vegas has such a great eclectic mix of world travelers. You, Al, Big Bub, Michael, you guys have all been around the entire world, and you get such a different perspective when you do that. And that's one thing that I do love about Vegas is getting so many world travelers in one city.
It's a melting pot. In addition to it is the entertainment capital of the world. So that's why everyone comes from all over the globe to visit and partake in the activities that Las Vegas has to offer.
In the Sin City.
That's right. Yeah, speaking of partaking, a little news note here from KDWN's Twitter feed the other day, at KDWN, posted that Las Vegas, Clark County, poised to become the first county in Nevada with medical marijuana absolutely on the books. So when you speak of partaking, there you go. Las Vegas could be another city which you can partake in legally. So that's fun. Fun stuff.
Well,
all right, guys. Moving on. There is another item here in the news that I think is quite important. And Michael, you have a very good insight on this because of the business that you're in. Being a pawnbroker, you have to talk with Las Vegas. Yeah, exactly. King Pawn. You have to talk with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police detectives often, and especially around violent crime in the Valley. There was a man shot by a Metro police officer at a Dottie's casino up on North Rancho, just a little bit south of Lake Mead. Now, apparently this man had been inside a 7-Eleven down the street on Rancho just prior, had been using some counterfeit money to purchase goods. The police then followed him up to Dottie's. Eventually happened, police say that the man flashed a gun at them. They then opened fire. Apparently 3 shots were fired. He's in critical condition, stable. Michael, though, in talking to some of your friends here in town, you guys have seen a bit of an uptick in the shootings by Metro police officers recently.
Well, the job that Metropolitan Police Department provides, the service they provide our valley and protection is there's no better. We have probably the best police force in the United States, and there's been a rash of shootings, and these bad guys out there, they're not afraid to shoot a cop. And so I have to, say...
I can imagine. It's a very tough job.
It's a tough job.
Imagine having to decide at that moment, in terms of, protecting yourself as well. You just don't know. You don't know if someone's going to garnish a weapon or what have you. And so you have to make that split decision as a human being. So
it's scary. So, a guy brashes out his gun, and you don't know that. And I just saw another article where there's some legislation on bringing fake guns to school. Is that okay or not? And NRA is coming up against that because how do we know the difference if it's a real gun or a fake gun to start with? So, it's scary. And I really, it's sad that, we have any shootings at all. But this is the big this is the big times. There's more handguns, there's more firearms on the streets than ever.
Yeah. Now, that's interesting because I'm not entirely sure what that speaks to. I mean, you look at an industrial nation like the United Kingdom, okay, the police officers still to this day don't carry firearms on their person. They're allowed to carry them now in the trunk of their vehicles. Do you think that this is almost a societal problem, Michael? Because in countries like Canada where firearms are readily available, people just don't seem to have the same instances of violent crime. Is this something to do with our society? I mean, that there's more on the streets, but not only are more people using them, more police are using them against people.
Well, they can talk about, taking the rights away from from the people that have firearms. But the firearms get in the bad guys' hands. It doesn't matter what country. And there's countries that don't allow
people kill people.
That's right.
People kill people,
that's
not
right.
guns.
And bad is bad.
That's right. Well, and I think that's what when we look at here. I mean, there's obviously guns can be had in any country, across any border. But here in America, we have the most unique and glaring problem with gun violence. Most of the rest of the countries in this world that are industrialized, okay, and I'm not talking about those that are still on the upswing and haven't been industrialized yet. Those countries don't seem to have this problem. Okay, we have to step away, take our first look at traffic. Great conversation here so far on Live Las Vegas. When we come back, we're going to lighten up the mood, talk a little entertainment. Then coming up later on in the day, we have got more with Michael Mack. Stay tuned with us here on KDWN 720 AM.
Keep it locked.
And at 116 in the KDWN Wonder Better Credit Union Traffic Center. Just one incident on area freeways right now. It's Interstate 15 southbound. That's at Russell. This report brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Farmers Insurance believes the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. To find your local agent and get smarter about your insurance, call 888-96-FARMERS. That's 888-96-FARMERS. Also, several incidents on the surface streets. Charleston at Wallapai, Almond Tree, Maryland Parkway. That with injuries. Sands at Koval, and a hit and run, this time Lone Mountain at Rancho. From the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
When your battery's dead, it's a bummer, but you know that. What you may not know is that your battery may not really be kaput. It may just need a little maintenance or a charge. So get a jump and swing into Ted Weens. If you need a new battery, we'll pop one in. And if you just need a little extra juice, we'll give you some of that. Because Ted Weens does way more than just tires. Our team of slightly obsessive ASE certified mechanics can fix anything. Because yes, we do care. That check engine light on your dash is annoying, and yeah, your car is probably running the same as it was before that thing started blinking. But here's the deal. You can't pass a smog check, and you may damage your car if you don't get rid of that light. So pop into your nearby Ted Weens. We'll quickly, easily tell you what's wrong, fix it affordably, and even do that inspection when you're ready. All under the watchful eye of our slightly obsessive ASE certified mechanics. Because yeah, we do care.
Hey, Las Vegas, it's Al B. Shore and the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney. Join us for the best that Las Vegas has to offer. Entertainment, sports, dining, and nightlife. Live in Las Vegas. Tune in every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. on News Talk 720 KDWN.
If you're looking to lower your mortgage payments and been turned down elsewhere, you need to listen to Mortgage Makeovers with Ken Michaels this Sunday from 6 to 7 a.m. Mortgage Makeovers with Ken Michaels here on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Now back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney and Al B. Shore on News Talk 720 KDWN.
And welcome back to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by multi-platinum recording artist and overall wonderful guy, man about town, Al B. Shore. Also, Michael Mack in studio with us here, owner of the world-famous Max Pawn. You're right, you got him King Pawn. Reminds me of a...
I feel like you're saying King Kong.
No.
And I'm starting to feel
That's
big
what-
over here.
That's what she said. Don't tell Kat that. That's what I was talking about.
Wow, guys.
Hey,
Well,
Kat.
joining us on the program again today, we've got Big Bob here. And it's
Peace.
great to have you back, man.
Thank you, man.
Gotta
I greatly
say, it was
appreciate you guys.
so awesome having you on
We
the
just
first
call
time.
him
And
sexual chocolate.
is that what we call him? Okay, I'm not going to call him that. You call him that,
No.
okay?
That's
All
what she said.
Okay,
That's
I
what
was going to say, and really, only Al's voice gets away with saying that, to where it sounds like your phone message that you really wanted to have. But guys, right now we've talked about some really, really heavy stuff, and we've got a couple of more awesome stories in the news to cover later. But I have got to get started, lighten up the load here with our entertainment report.
Be a lady tonight.
You've worked all week. Now it's time to hit the town. We'll tell you where in this edition of Entertainment Uncovered.
All right, and welcome to the Entertainment Uncovered report here on Live Las Vegas. And great new stuff here from our producers at Beasley Broadcasting. Now, Al, you and Big Bob last week got a chance to go back to Los Angeles, California for the 84th Annual Academy Awards. Now, this was a big Academy Awards show. Unexpected surprises from the top.
From top to bottom.
Could you?
Bottom to the bottom. Well, listen, I'm with my brother, Mr. Albie Shore. Soon as we, get the valet parking, red carpet is ready for us, and it was showtime.
What an amazing.
Yeah.
The festivities, all over Los Angeles, obviously, in Beverly Hills, and we had an opportunity to partake in one of the greatest events that's done annually through Daphne Ziman. She has an organization called Children Uniting Nations, childrenunitingnations.org. Also, and her better half, which is the former president of Westwood One. It's a beautiful occasion. Number one, obviously, it's focused on doing for these wonderful children. And the greatest part about it is the entertainment aspect of it yearly. So it's during the Academy Awards, and afterwards, it's a show. It turns into a show because everyone there obviously is an entertainer. Everyone who's not at the Academy Awards at this particular event, I thought I saw Dr. Dahlia around here. And it's just a wonderful. It's a wonderful occasion to see. You walk in the door, and Tommy Davidson obviously is a very dear friend for many years from in Living Color and so many other films and movies. He goes into a Sammy Davis Jr. Rendition, and then
Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the real. Listen. Jeff Goldblum called up me and Albie Shore on stage.
Wow,
and it was rocking.
Does Jeff have a band too? Or
yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, please,
awesome.
Please.
Let me tell you something. It was an amazing evening. Obviously everyone's in attendance, from Mike Tyson to
Shaka Khan, Dougie Fresh.
Wow.
We call him the greatest entertainer.
Yeah.
So obviously he gets on stage and does his, lottie-dottie.
We like to party.
We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. And it's just, he's the consummate performer. I mean, just everywhere we toured together. He was actually at the Barclays Center in New York.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Long story short, you get on the stage, you get near the stage, and Doug gave Bub and I a shout out, and then all of a sudden we wind up on the side of the stage, and Jeff Goldblum, obviously one of the largest stars in the world, is self-contained. He's a self-contained musician on top of his acting acumen.
Yeah.
Wow. And you mean self-contained? What does he have? Like some sort of a
that man can play the out of the
Yo,
ivories.
Really?
He got on the piano and he just tore up. I mean, and then it was funny because obviously we're kind of ad-libbing and you just kind of go with the flow. And then all of a sudden, obviously, Big Bub over here picks up the mic and they start scatting back and forth, vocally and musically. And it was just an amazing night. And then imagine you're standing there singing and there's Shaka Khan standing in front of you. So you really don't want to sing too much. You just want to just get through it and hopefully she smiles at you.
Right.
I mean, it's an amazing. And then Jeff Goldblum, obviously, I made him get up from the piano. He came next to me, and then we started rapping together.
Oh, my God.
It was fun.
I still think I'm an 18-year-old rapper
Oh,
from
my
Mount Vernon.
gosh. This is, it's like if you could get the inside look at the making of the Jurassic Park, I would love to see where Jeff Goldblum, get involved in the musical score production.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was a multi-talented guy like that.
Yeah, really.
Brilliant and a sweetheart of a guy. I mean, you talk about one
the
of the
coolest, man.
one of the more down to earth, large figures that we have.
Figuratively and literally. How tall is he? Like 6'5"?
That's a big boy.
He's like 6'6", 6'7".
I'd like to get a game of Hollywood pickup hoops with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like, you, me, magic. All right, we're going to go burn these guys, the producers from One Tree Hill.
I think you can actually check out some of the photos if you just go to facebook.com/official Albie Shore.
And you've got photos from inside. That's
There-
great.
There's a few photos being posted, and throughout the weekend, some more will go up. And it was just a great event. Just to see everyone just having such a good time and enjoying the awards at the same time.
Yeah.
It was hosted by Tommy Davidson, obviously. What a great actor and comedian.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about Tommy Davidson.
He's going to be here in Las Vegas very
Well, you know
soon
what?
as
Let's try to get him on the show here because I'd love to talk to him about his time during, in Living Color and really setting the Fox broadcast network up for success that it has today. But guys, real quick to recap the actual Academy Awards, the winner, and this is one that I thought was a huge surprise because 10 years ago, you could have blown me over with a feather if Matthew McConaughey was going to be winning the Best Actor award.
And we talked
I just
about this.
never would have thought about that.
We talked about this, and it's been, he's stepped his game up, in a major way in terms of, taking his craft seriously. I mean, this is something I'd recommend to anyone who wants to enter into the entertainment industry for anything, whether you're a singer, actor, producer. I mean, when you fall in love with your craft and you start to live it. It's almost like watching Michael Jordan with a basketball. It's nature at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about, the Dallas Buyers Club, this movie, not only did it score the Best Actor, it got the Best Supporting Actor with Jared Leto. Now, fellas, I haven't seen the Dallas Buyers Club yet. It's one of these ones where
most of the movies that were
neither
renovated.
have I. I know it's terrible that we say this.
I make movies, so
That's it. Yeah, I saw Frozen. Thank you. Thank you, Al. When you look at this, though, you've got Jared Leto, who, again, came up as a very good and promising young actor, made a transition into the music business,
Correct.
did very well there.
Which is a very hard transition.
Oh, it's unbelievably hard.
Because even let's look at, like Kobe Bryant, arguably one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball, and you can mention in the same sentence with, like a Magic Johnson and Parrish. I mean, these really, accomplished, athletes. But, if he decides to make a hip-hop record, he can fill the Lakers, Coliseum. But if he makes a hip-hop record, I don't, depending on, meaning that transition of, someone can be so great at something else, and then when, if they try to attempt to do something else, the audience are just completely separate. Because I'm not saying that he's not good at it, but they're completely separate. So that making a transition from from sports to music, or even from acting to music or what have you, someone like a Drake did an amazing job at it. Just amazing. I mean, obviously he was an actor on, I guess, Nickelodeon. A kid actor on Nickelodeon, but his pen game is serious.
Sick.
Yeah, I think actually Disney and Nickelodeon have put out probably the 15 top stars of the last 55 years.
Christina,
when you go exactly, go
Justin,
back further than that.
Britney,
the Mickey Mouse Club, it led
Yeah.
the way for many of the pop stars of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and obviously, like you just mentioned, here through the 2000s. So real quick, just to go over the rest, Best Leading Actress, Cate Blanchett. Best Director went to Alfonso Cuarón for Gravity. Original Screenplay went to your boy, Spike Jonze, for Her. Adapted Screenplay went to John Ridley for 12 Years a Slave. I wish we had more time because there was a big rift between John Ridley and the director, the 12 Years of Slave director and screenplay writer. Big story there behind the scenes in Hollywood. Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, so Best Supporting Actress, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. And then
we got the pronunciation
we
right.
did. We got that pronunciation right. And
no one in the world will forget anymore.
Well, no, and
she is on the map.
It was interesting because as India Menzel was getting ready to perform one of her songs, John Travolta completely lambasted her name, called her Adele Dazeem, and it's awesome. It's making the YouTube almost break, and
it's trending.
It's trending so high. Now, guys, another piece of entertainment talk here while we're still on our entertainment report. A Las Vegas casino, the Downtown Grand, has recently been sued by Mark Johnston, a Ventura, California businessman, for $500,000. Now, you might be asking yourself, why does a Ventura businessman sue a Las Vegas casino? Well, Mark Johnston claims that the Downtown Grand fed him so many drinks during the night, he was completely unconscious, so to speak. I mean, obviously, he's up enough to be gambling, but that he was out of his wits, didn't know what he was doing, lost himself $500,000. Now, before you say anything,
to say no.
Thank you. Now, first of all, this guy
bottom line.
right.
is a 35-year traveler to Las Vegas. He comes out here all the time. Him and his brothers own two different car dealership conglomerations in Southern California. One is a Mercedes-Benz dealership in Los Angeles. The other one is a Ford dealership in Ojai, California. So they're very well-to-do. Now, this man who knows about gambling has admitted, Michael, we talked about this off air as well, getting into the limo before coming to the casino, 12 to 13 drinks in the limo. At dinner, 20 more drinks at dinner. At what point, my question becomes, does it become the casino's responsibility to stop you from drinking? Because at 32 drinks and counting, you know what? You're probably going to take me for everything I've got to.
But, he had a drink or two on the airplane and in
that's
the airport.
right.
You forgot those.
So, the main thing here, is obviously buyer beware. When you come to Las Vegas, don't consume that much alcohol. But I want to know what you guys think about this. On the other side of the break, we're going to take calls at 257-5396, 257-KDWN. We want to hear your thoughts on Mark Johnston suing the Downtown Grand. Stay with us here on Live Las Vegas.
I'm thirsty.
Really bad. Let's go.
Need the news now? Then lock into News Talk 720 KDWN. AP News at the top and bottom of every hour throughout the day. News Talk 720 KDWN, where locals come to talk. Or Android, you can listen to News Talk 720 KDWN on the free iRadio Now app, available in your app store. iRadio Now is powered by LVH. Take News Talk 720 KDWN with you wherever you go with the iRadio Now app for your iPhone and Android. Your news now, your talk now. KDWN available now, no matter where you are. Get your free app, iRadio Now, and listen to News Talk 720 KDWN on your iPhone or Android, powered by LVH. Short on time? Get the Valley's best local news updates online anytime. KDWN Las Vegas, a Beasley Broadcast Group station.
AP Update, I'm Diane Kepley. Rising tensions in Ukraine. Now there are reports a Russian military truck broke through the gate of a Ukrainian military base in Crimea. No shots have been fired, but America's former ambassador to Russia says the tensions in the region leave the door open to an escalation of the crisis.
Somebody gets killed. Something happens. Some unintended moment of violence then precipitates other moments of violence. And these things can move very quickly. These kind of situations can move very quickly in unintended ways.
Pentagon spokesman Admiral John Kirby says there are a number of concerns in the region.
We're much more concerned about the activities, blocking off Ukrainian naval bases by sinking patrol boats into the waterways. And essentially establishing operational control of the Crimea.
Meanwhile, Russia's foreign minister is warning the U.S. against imposing sanctions, saying they could boomerang. AP Update, I'm Diane Kepley.
The news brought to you by American Red Cross. Survivors of disasters urgently need your help. Donate to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Every dollar you can spare means so much.
It's 1:32 on the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. Just one freeway accident working right now. The NHP's on the scene. Southbound 15, that's at Russell. Also collisions, Almond Tree at Maryland Parkway, Charleston at Wallapai, Sands at Koval on the east side, and a hit and run, that's Lone Mountain and Rancho. Remember, the NHP has what they call a zero tolerance zone on I-15 between St. Rose Parkway and Prem. This means no more warnings for speeders, reckless drivers, those using their cell phones while driving, or any other rule the NHP doesn't see you following. For the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
You hear a lot of talk about gold these days. What, with the stock market and more upheaval than tumbleweeds in a tornado? The world-famous Max Pawn is your gold spot in Las Vegas. Don't just send your gold into some random TV guy for pennies on the dollars. Go where you can see what your gold is really worth and get guaranteed market rate for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Come visit the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas at the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones or online at maxpawnlv.com.
This is the Duke of Fremont Street, and I urge all citizens to support our Second Amendment right, the right to keep and bear arms. I'm inviting you to attend the Rocky Mountain Gun Show at the Cashman Center on March 8th and 9th. Doors open at 9 a.m. The first 200 people through the door will receive a box of .22 ammo. There will be an enormous selection of wholesaled firearms, ammunition, knives, and clips. This is a real gun show, not a junk show. RockyMountainGunShow.com. Guns, knives, clips, bulk ammunition, all under one roof. RockyMountainGunShow.com. I'll see you there.
Owning and caring for a home comes with a lot of to-dos. Tune up the furnace, clean the gutters, remodel the kitchen. Whatever your home improvement need, Home Advisor can help you find a pro you can trust to get the job done right. Go to home.homeadvisor.com for instant access to top-rated pros in your area, including electricians, handymen, plumbers, whatever type of home pro you need. And Home Advisor is absolutely free to use. At Home Advisor, you don't have to search through a long list of pros. With just a few clicks, Home Advisor matches you with pros who provide the exact services you need. You can read customer reviews of the pros, even use the cost guide to find out what hundreds of other home projects cost in your area. And because Home Advisor knows it's important to find a pro you can trust in your home, they conduct background checks on their service professionals. It's just one of the reasons more than 25 million homeowners have used Home Advisor. Go to home.homeadvisor.com to find the right pro for your project. That's home.homeadvisor.com.
Now back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney and Al B. Shore on News Talk 720 KDWN.
And welcome back to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by multi-platinum recording artist, R&B superstar, Albie Sure, Big Bub in
radio
studio.
host.
Yeah, I was going to say in radio. What don't you do? That's the only thing. Radio host.
Chef.
Well, they're you know.
No, we leave that to Raekwon. He's the chef.
Yeah, the chef Raekwon.
So he's also a chef, scores big movies, makes a bunch of money on the side. That's great. Good for him. Michael Mack also here in studio with us. And guys, before we took our last break here, we're talking about Mark Johnston, a Ventura businessman, actually owns a couple of car dealerships in the Central California region. Coming out here to Las Vegas during Super Bowl weekend, he was at the Downtown Grand losing 500 racks. And I just kind of think, too, you know, if you won the $500,000, are you calling up the Downtown Grand the next day and saying, you know what, listen, I had a few too many last night. I won some money from you guys, and I'd sure like to give it back. I just, you know, I got to do my part.
You know, the color of the chips, they look very similar.
That's right.
Yes. Everything becomes a big blur.
Yeah, it sure does. And if you've got 500 to waste, though, you know, to me, again, it's one of these things where at some point we have to start getting a little personal culpability in here and saying if I had the first 32 drinks, the last 20 aren't all on the casino. I mean, Michael, definitely give you credit, but I reserve that more for novice gamblers. I mean, we talked about this a bit off air. If you're a pro gambler, somebody that comes here like Mark has reputed to do 33 years in a row, he comes here every single year and spends big money with these casinos. He knows what he's doing. And you know, this isn't his first ride.
And as we talked about it, we think he knows what he's doing so well that this probably is one big PR play by the guy. And, you know, let's just call it sour grapes. Let's call it what it is. But, you know, casinos have some culpability. When people are plastered, you know, they definitely, you know, have a responsibility not to take advantage. And I think for the most part, we have probably the best casinos with the Gaming Control Board of the state of Nevada, always watching.
I was going to say the rules are pretty
the rules are very
strict.
vigorous,
Absolutely.
probably the toughest.
Well, and I think that's what Mr. Johnston, if you kind of read through his lawsuit that as well as at least the talking points that his attorney has outlined, it's more, you know, stating the culpability of the Nevada casino because of their strict regulations. That while he does have some culpability for drinking 32 to 45 drinks, it's really their fault for not taking better care of him. Now, again, our phone number here in studio, 257-5396 257 KDWN. We want to hear your thoughts, guys, and this doesn't have to do with just this, but any of the topics that we cover here on Live Las Vegas. We want to hear your thoughts, and everybody that calls us on our Subway Fresh Take hotline at 257-5396 wins an absolutely free prize, courtesy of Beasley Broadcasting and the world-famous Max Pond. We've got a treasure chest ready for you to open down at 6040 West Sahara. Now, with that being said, we do have our first caller on the line. We've got Steve with us. Steve, it looks like you have got a comment here about Mark Johnston and his gambling debt.
Well, you know, Dave, the first thing I thought when the whole thing came out was, you know, let's just make this a class action lawsuit. We'll all get in on it. You know, I could recoup some losses from the early '90s when my eyes were a little blurry.
Well, let's all jump in on this, Steve. You know, I have a couple old sports bets I'm going to dig up that I could probably get on. I know that I didn't do too well in the last few Super Bowls, but I did okay this year.
Absolutely.
And I don't even gamble, but I'm done. Let's go. I'm in because I know Mike.
Well. You know, we all go drinking. We have to be responsible, whether we're behind the wheel or we're spending our money.
That's right.
And I think, you know, it seems just to me, Steve, I don't know what your thoughts are, but it seems like one big power play.
Yeah, and I'm trying to hold on.
Power play. You know how that guy at the end of the table that's you know, you're betting $25 a hand, and you know he's throwing in $2,000 a hand, and you know he's making a big deal because he wants cocktails right now, and he wants cocktails for his friends, and
then you spill a hot cocktail on your pants.
When I'm betting $10, I still want cocktail.
That's right.
I don't know.
But then you spill some coffee on your pants, and you know.
Well,
yeah,
so Steve, you know, let me ask you here. You're obviously a local from Las Vegas here, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you see a lot of these different characters coming through town, and we love the tourists here. Obviously, that's what keeps Las Vegas in business. That's what keeps all of us employed, no matter where we work in town. Do you think that in this case, though, I mean, reading a little bit about this either on the newspaper or hearing us talk about it, do you think that maybe what we're seeing in this case, Steve, is somebody that knows what they're doing coming out to take advantage of the system that we've got?
I think he is trying to take advantage of the system. You know, the odds are stacked against you right when you walk in the room, but you know, when that dealer who's dealing you the cards, he doesn't want you to lose. He wants you to win because that's how he makes his money.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
no, you're right.
If he sees a guy that's hitting on 19 and hitting on 20, well, I think he's going to say something.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, you know, I think it goes back to, some of the oldest Las Vegas' adage, if he's winning, you're going to stop him right away. If he's losing, keep him going. You want that Johnny Walker judgment to continue throughout the entire night, right? I mean,
hashtag Johnny Walker judgment.
That's right. Let's get that trending. But Steve, no, I really appreciate your phone call because I love hearing from locals here in Las Vegas, especially those that get to see some of this stuff up close and personal. Thanks again so much for calling to the show.
Hey, you guys do a great job. I really love the addition of Las Vegas Live before your second segment, which I'll be listening to as well. You guys have a great day, and thanks for having me on.
All right, well, thanks so much, Steve. Another one of our loyal listeners joining the Pawn Talk Live revolution. Pawn Talk Live, unbelievably, guys, going into its 4th year, 3 different broadcast networks. Real happy to be with you here, though, on KDWN. And again, we want to hear from you on Live Las Vegas. 257-5396 is the number, 257 KDWN. Now,
we got to give some shout-outs really quick.
Go
we
for
have
it,
some
yes.
people online listening live all the way from Hawaii.
Ooh,
we have
love it.
Michiko Moore. What a mover and shaker. She's listening live on Max Pawn LV all the way from Hawaii.
Boy,
excuse me, Hawaii.
I was going to say it's like 9:40 in the morning over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's having a little Kona coffee and listening
good
to Live
morning,
in Las Vegas.
Good
Hawaii.
morning, exactly.
Yes.
And also Jennifer Miheka from Aliente, actually local. She's the president of I Will, the women's organization. Empowering women, so they're all listening, in their car, and I love seeing. So this whole social media and active, it's not now, but right now.
That's right.
You click, you like, you buy.
Oh, that's
it's
beautiful.
yours.
Boy, that speaks so much, to some of the things we're going to be talking about with Michael here in MaxPawn. I mean, the way that the world works now so fast, guys. As musicians here, as entertainers, let's just go as entertainers in general. Do you feel that the social media revolution has I guess, been a bit of a catalyst to reignite or reestablish or keep careers on firm footing?
I agree. I mean, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. It's an upgrade, especially for me.
Upgrade. Isn't that a Beyonce song? Upgrade.
Yeah, upgrade. All right. It's it keeps you out there. Your fans, your loyal fans, the millions of fans that we have. They want to see what we're doing because we made such an impact at an early age, and now social media has changed. And
change the landscape.
Yeah, the landscape. And now you can see what we're
direct
doing,
access,
what we're eating, whatever we put out there.
But some people will do a little too much.
Yeah, they do
I am
a little too
walking
much.
to the car.
Yes.
I am in the car. I am starting the car.
I have lint in my eyebrows.
All right, well, see, one of my
no eyebrow jokes.
Yeah,
oh, get out of here. Oh.
Hey, listen.
Well, no fat jokes. Well, I love being chunky but
listen,
funky, baby.
I already told him there is a guy for the New Orleans Pelicans, Anthony Davis, owes you just like all kinds of royalty rights money. He's trying to rock this, the whole unibrow thing. Get out of here with that. My man Albie Sure had that way before you did. But guys, I think it's just, it's really fascinating to me, as somebody who fully understands social media and its ramifications, its capabilities. But I guess I have just been yet to get super excited about it because here I am. I'm not a celebrity, so I care what Albie Sure's doing in the morning. I want to know where you're going to eat. What does anybody care what Dave Carney's doing in the morning? Why do you care what I'm having to eat? Has always been my question. I'm like, that's great for you.
Just make sure you're here for the radio show.
Hey, look. Hey, I tell you this much. If you look like you're slim, trim, and you got the whole thing
I thought you were
going
going to
on.
say a face for radio.
Hey, so you obviously got something going on, and you're doing something right. So believe me, it's all good.
All right, well, there we go. You can follow me on Twitter, by the way, at DapperDaveC. I am desperately recruiting more followers. I've got 45 of them, and we're going to look to make a step. If this goes to 90 before the end of the year, I'm going to be super excited. Of course.
Well, get ready, baby.
Thank you.
10,000 is coming in the mix.
At official
I'll be sure. That's all I have to do to really gain my Twitter followers. I'm going to tag you in anything. But, guys, we've got another caller here on the line calling us about this Mark Johnston situation. We've got Gracie online with us. Gracie, thanks so much for joining the program. Looks like you have a comment about Mark Johnson in this little feud here with the Downtown Grand Casino. Gracie, you're online with us. Can you hear us? All right, it looks like Gracie,
she's lost in the Matrix.
I got to ask you, fellas, what do you guys think about your social media gurus? What do you think about Ellen throwing out the master, Facebook tweet or tweet with the selfie with all the big crew in it? I think
that was big. See, Ellen, let me tell you something. As we talked about, last week, Ellen is the master of of it all. I mean, obviously with the ratings, with her talk show, I believe it's number one, of all the talk shows in that particular format and sector. And she's just taken over the world by storm. And what I really like is that she utilized her platform, not only just as being a lesbian woman, that it's surpassed the idea of what that represents to people.
Yes,
that's
and
right.
She's actually she's doing it for real, meaning that she's making it happen, and she's so big and so humble and so likable. I just want to see her just continue to grow.
I'll tell you what, she was so funny. The pizzas and all.
That was
It
the
a
greatest.
blast.
I haven't seen it. I was excited to see her host. I mean, one more time. We need Ellen one more time.
One more time,
Hey,
Ellen.
They run all these guys at least through 2 or 3, so I'm sure she'll get a shot next year. Guys, we have to step aside, take our final look at traffic here on Live Las Vegas. When we come back, we're going to wrap up with the Sports Carnival. Al, Big Bob, Mike, and I are going to talk about Canyon Springs falling in heartbreaking fashion. Stay tuned.
Keep it locked.
And at 145 at the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. A couple of issues to deal with on Interstate 15 southbound of Russell. Also the ramp as you leave 15 north to go northbound 95 near the Spaghetti Bowl. Also surface street incidents, Almond Tree at Maryland, Sands at Koval. That hit and run, Rancho at Lone Mountain. And remember, the Con Expo convention continues. Do expect a lot of extra congestion around the convention center, mainly late this afternoon. From the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
It's one of our favorite races in your backyard. This is Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch, and we're talking about Las Vegas and the 2014 Cobalt 400. It's 3 fast days and some high-speed nights.
Kurt and Kyle Busch and all the other stars of NASCAR's Sprint Cup are returning to Las Vegas March 7th through 9th. The 2014 Cobalt 400. Weekend ticket packages are available now. Call 644-4444 or visit LVMS.com today for tickets.
All 11 Ted Weens around town carry Michelin tires because many people think they're the best tires made, and because a lot of driving enthusiasts demand Michelin tires, and because many manufacturers recommend them. So Ted Weens makes sure you have the choice of world-renowned Michelin tires, and a choice of Goodyear tires, and Bridgestone and Firestone tires. So when you see us, you'll always have the best, smartest choice of premium tire brands anywhere in town at Ted Weens, because we really do care. A lot. Manufacturers like Ford and Chevy and Mercedes-Benz, they all have specific tires in mind when they build a car or truck. Tire brands and makes that work specifically well with their cars. So Ted Weens carries more brands of manufacturer-recommended tires than anyone in Vegas, and more choices of premium tire brands like Goodyear, Michelin, Firestone, and Bridgestone. So you can make your own smart choice and get exactly the tires your car or truck needs at Ted Weens, who really does care.
Greenfest unites with Festival of Communities to celebrate Earth Day, culture, and community. Saturday, April 12th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at UNLV. Brought to you by Republic Services and Green Alliance. With live entertainment, cultural food, beer garden, farmers market, recycling and conservation exhibits, local artists, and activities for all ages. Sponsorships and booth exhibit space are still available, but going fast. For more information, visit greenfestlv.com. Proudly sponsored by Gaudin Ford and Bombard Renewable Energy.
Hi, this is Michael Mack, owner of a world-famous Mack's Pawn in Las Vegas. You ever wondered what those valuables are worth? Had a pawn question but didn't know who to ask? I have the solution for you. Join me and Dave Carney every Friday from 2 to 3 for Pawn Talk Live here on News Radio 720 KDWN.
Late Levada, host of the Real Estate Zone, broker-owner for First Prime Realty Group. Listen in every Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. while he answers all of your real estate questions. That's every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on 720 KDWN.
Now back to Live Las Vegas with Dave Carney and Al B. Shore on News Talk 720 KDWN.
And welcome back to Live Las Vegas here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by multi-platinum recording artist, R&B superstar, man about town, Al B. Sure, Big Bub in house with us, and Michael Mack.
Hey.
King Paul.
That's right, I really like that.
Wow.
I like that.
That's going to be how your phone rings now. Everybody's going to know it's him.
Or either that, or Michael's converting to Catholicism.
That's right.
It sounded like a Catholic.
Boy,
church.
that you know what? That would be a heck of a
Michael Mack turns
conversion.
into the altar
That's
boy.
right. We're going to need to see your
Mazel tov, Ultra Boy.
You know what, Michael? We're going to need to see your moil and see if he can go back and reverse
can't
this
reconvert
process.
that
Now
thing.
he can't do that. All right. Well, that's going to be tough. And guys, if you're just joining us here on Live Las Vegas, we've been talking about so much great stuff. The Oscars, of course, went down last weekend. But the big story that we're asking for your input on, your feedback, your thoughts, is about Ventura. Southern California businessman Mark Johnston coming here over Super Bowl weekend, losing $500,000 to the Downtown Grand Hotel and Casino.
Tickets.
500 racks, boy. That's a lot of racks. And now he's suing.
money.
And now he's suing the casino, saying that he was too intoxicated to be gambling. Now, like Michael had mentioned earlier in the show, there are plenty of laws surrounding this type of thing. So
I was going to ask that, Dave. Now, is there some stipulation in terms of how intoxicated you can be? Obviously, with driving, like there's a DUI. With gambling or being in a casino, is there some specific law that covers or the liability, whether it's the casino
well, there's
or
a
the
law
individual?
on the books.
There's
that
a
you
law,
you
yeah.
cannot take advantage of a person who is intoxicated.
visibly intoxicated.
Visibly intoxicated. Now, we all know
We thought that
played
was male,
cards
female.
and we've had cocktails and we've been buzzed.
Right.
So I'm jumping on the lawsuit. I feel like I was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and look at all the tickets I lost.
Yeah, I had 3 Heinekens, so I want my money back, man.
Yeah, and the only thing I think that would save this for Mark Johnston, and we do have Stephanie on the line here who has got a comment about this. The only thing that I think would save Mark Johnston, businessman, car entrepreneur, from absolutely losing this lawsuit is if they have clear and visible video evidence of somebody picking up a lifeless body, moving his hands around on the table, and using him like a puppet. Because if we don't see that, it's going to be terribly difficult for any court, is civil or a criminal, to find in favor of a plaintiff like that.
Can you say #loophole?
Thank you. Yes, I can.
There's always a loophole somewhere.
Well,
So
I'll
you know what? And obviously, there are many great attorneys here in Las Vegas.
Yes,
and
there are.
Los Angeles. So what happens is from that aspect, you may have someone finding a loophole and prevailing.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Insurance company, #settlement.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna take Stephanie's call here, and again, thanks so much to everybody for your phone calls. We haven't been able to get everybody's online, but Stephanie, you have a comment here about Mark Johnston. What is that comment?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that's how society is today. When something doesn't go their way, that's what they tend to do is sue. It goes to speak about the Rachel Canning, the young girl that sued her parents for her tuition.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, well, now earlier this week, Stephanie's making a great point. Back in New Jersey, a New Jersey high school student is recently suing her parents and, suing them for high school and college tuition. Stephanie, when you see something, from a person in Mr. Johnson's position, obviously very affluent, okay? He's got $500,000 to lose in one night, which most of us will never accumulate in a lifetime. Do you feel any specific sympathy for Mr. Johnson, or do you kind of side with those of us, making a little fun of it here that, hey, we've all been a little too drunk to gamble probably at one point or the other. Do we all get in on that?
I don't feel bad.
Yeah, I don't feel bad either. I mean,
no, I'm being
honest.
man.
I'm really
And
curious.
You got to know your limits.
Exactly.
Yes,
but I'm
exactly.
also curious to see the side of the gentleman. I want to hear what he has to say in terms of what his position is. Outside of just I was too drunk, what have you, because it may be a situation where he did feel like he was being taken advantage of.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, when's the last time you had 20 drinks in one sitting, or one day, or 1 month?
1987.
What day was that?
Before I hit the big time.
December 31st, 1987. Well,
wait, I was going to say, if you can actually remember.
That's right.
Then that's a feat.
That's a
within
lot of
itself.
cocktails.
No, it's a lot of cocktails. And Stephanie, I really appreciate your phone call. Again, for joining us today on Live Las Vegas. You are a winner. We've got some great prizes from Beasley Broadcasting and from the world-famous Max Pawn. Down at 6040 West Sahara, all you have to do is go to the store, tell them you heard us here on the show, and they'll let you dig through the prize vault, pick out a little something.
Bring your ID,
show your ID. I think Al just wants to make sure everybody's legal.
Say it
That's
again.
right.
Say it again.
We look
Show
forward-
your what?
Show your ID.
Sure, you're right.
Show your ID.
All right. But, Stephanie, thanks very much for your call. I appreciate the input as well. And, again, everybody that's out there listening to us on KDWN, we love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, maybe even suggestions at 257-5396. That's 257-KDWN. Now, guys, we've got only a couple of minutes left in this show. We've got to cover some late-breaking sports news in this week's Sports Carnival.
Covering the sports stories that come from everywhere. It's time for Carney's Sports Carnival with Al and Dave.
Love it.
All right, guys, here we come. The first official Carney Sports Carnival with Al and Dave. Talking about our good friend Eldridge Hudson and Freddie Banks coming up, just a little bit short against powerhouse Bishop Gorman. Bishop Gorman, who celebrates their third consecutive state championship, guys, Friday, February 28th.
Tough game.
Man, tough game.
And I spoke to, of course, the legend, from UNLV. I call him my big brother, Eldridge Hudson. We call him El Hud 33.
That's right, yes. El Hud, one of UNLV's iconic players. If he hadn't have been injured, he probably would have been one of the best pros UNLV would have sent out as well.
Absolutely, because you know what it is with El, his basketball acumen.
Yes.
He's such a smart player on the floor. So, to me, he was like the original LeBron James in terms of his hops, his awareness of the court. I mean, and his
That's
size
not a bad,
as a ball handler.
Absolutely.
Like a Magic Johnson, being that tall and being able to handle the ball. Kevin Durant, another one who is 9 feet tall and handles the ball like Allen Iverson.
But the power that Hud had, though, in his game, I think that's why you're mentioning LeBron. I mean, he had a powerful first step and a hop off those 2 feet. It's hard to go back. There wasn't the tape on these college games then like there is now, so we don't get, every internet feed and every ESPN feed showing us. But if you can dig up some of the footage of El Hud, he was amazing. And unfortunately, he and Freddie Banks, another UNLV luminary who are now leading Canyon Springs, came up a little short. Now, Michael, your son goes to Bishop Gorman, and firsthand, the power behind the Bishop Gorman family of sports. But for Canyon Springs to be this close and really competitive with Bishop Gorman, that's got to say a whole lot about Canyon Springs.
Well, I'll tell you what, take nothing away from Bishop Gorman. They are the premier high school power sport, of every sport, basically. And, my 2 sons go there. But we hear from coaches
and quite accomplished athletes themselves.
Yes.
Well, those young men's go in.
Well, thank you, Al. But really, take nothing away from the other high schools. But fairness. We hear about the fair game. Does Gorman have an advantage because they can recruit and the other schools can't? And you hear this, I think, in every city, whether it was in New York where you grew up, the private schools, the high schools that had the powerful high school.
Oh, absolutely. Going to Mount Vernon High School,
we
won the state championship on several occasions. And our head coach was a gentleman by the name of Tony Ferrantino, which is actually the assistant coach of the Miami Heat.
No kidding.
Yeah,
well, you speak about the private schools. Obviously, they have a recruiting advantage, but to Canyon Springs' credit, they put up a heck of a fight here. They lost 71-58, but really the score was a lot closer than it reflects in the box score because they played a great game.
And, I'll tell you something about what Freddie Banks and El Hud did. They have a school that is in a tough part of town.
Sure is.
Canyon Springs. They took kids that really had the burning desire, and these 2 coaches coached their lights out.
Yeah.
And really put up. I mean, they blew everyone out in town except for Bishop Gorman.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's going to be, we talked to El Hud earlier. It was actually our first live Las Vegas program here on KDWN. And what a great job he and Freddie are doing moving that program forward now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, guys, real quick here, I want to talk about another program in Las Vegas who, in my opinion, is not being coached as well as it could be, and that's the UNLV Runnin' Rebels. The Rebels got their butts handed to them in a hat by the San Diego State Aztecs the other night. And as obviously we have to go now, I'm talking about the Rebels. But the Rebels look like they could be in trouble. Dave Rice has taken a couple of extremely talented class of players and led them to supremely disappointing finishes. So I'm going to be interested to see how this goes forward.
And Dave, I think that you should really think about a possible transition to maybe a Freddie Banks El Hud combination.
I would love it. Get Larry Johnson
back home, and we will refill those seats.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this has been a fantastic live Las Vegas. Thanks so much to Big Bob, to Al Sure. Michael Mack is going to be sticking around with me for Pawn Talk Live. We'll see you guys back here next Friday, 1 o'clock on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Keep it live.
Get ready for a night of bone-crushing action as Kickboxing Empire returns to Las Vegas with a night of World Championship K1 kickboxing action. Saturday, March 8th at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. 6 pro fights. Tickets starting at just $25. Kickboxing Empire brings fighters from around the globe for this championship card. Kickboxing, Saturday, March 8th at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Luxury shops in Las Vegas aren't new. What is new, however, is luxury meeting value. At the world-famous Max Pawn, we specialize in marrying the two. With some of the finest selections of watches, designer handbags, sunglasses, and more, the luxury never stops. Every day, new items are added in-store and online.